You should have left me in that grave, Maya. I was meant to rot there.
Rot? You think that pays for what you did to my brother?
He begged me for mercy. I wanted to see if his sister would do the same.
You knew who I was? Even when I was saving you.
Every second. That's why I begged you.
You used me to wash your sin clean.
No. I used you to see if angels still save devils.
Then God help you. Because I won't.
Her shovel hit something soft. Then a scream tore through the silence. She dug faster, heart racing, mud flying, until a pale hand reached for her. The man coughed, gasping for air, eyes filled with terror. "Don't call the cops," he begged. Hours later, watching the news, she froze. The man she saved was the Mafia boss who destroyed her family. Mud clung to her trembling fingers as Maya dragged the half-dead man out of the pit. His breathing came in sharp, broken gasps, every exhale fogging the night air. The forest was silent again, except for her pounding heart. She pressed her palm against his chest. Yes, he was alive. She didn't know his name. Didn't need to. Saving lives was all she could do after losing everything. She carried him to her old pickup truck, the same one she used for cleaning jobs. Every bump on the dirt road made him groan, but he didn't speak. Not yet. She reached her small house at the edge of town, helped him inside, and wrapped him in blankets. Under the flickering kitchen light, his pale face looked ghostly against the blood and dirt. "Don't call anyone," he whispered hoarsely. "Please." Her instincts screamed danger. His voice had command, like someone used to giving orders, not begging. Still, she nodded. She knew how it felt to beg and not be heard. She boiled water, cleaned his wounds, and tried not to ask questions. But something about him felt wrong. When dawn broke, Maya's son, Liam, woke up and saw the stranger on the couch. "Mom," he whispered. "Who's that man?" "Someone who needed help," she said quietly. Liam frowned. "He looks like the man from the news." Maya brushed him off, but his words stayed. That night, while the man slept, she turned on the TV. The breaking news headline froze her blood. Mafia boss Marco Varelli missing, believed dead after failed hit. She stared at the screen, her hands shaking. The face on TV was the same face sleeping in her living room. Her throat tightened. She stepped back slowly, her mind spinning. She had saved him, the man whose men burned her brother's garage to the ground for refusing to work for them, the man whose name everyone whispered like a curse. Suddenly, his voice came from behind her. "Now you know." She spun around. He was standing there, weak but steady, his eyes sharp despite the pain. "You shouldn't have turned on the TV," he said. Her voice cracked. "You killed my brother." He looked at her for a long moment. "No," he said coldly. "I gave the order. There's a difference." Maya's breath caught. Fear and rage tangled inside her. "Then why are you here? Why were you buried alive?" A faint, bitter smile. "My own men, they wanted me gone. Power doesn't last long when you stop being useful." She stared at him, every muscle tensed. For the first time, she saw something like guilt flash across his face. "You should have left me there," he murmured. "Maybe I should have," she said, her voice trembling. He stepped closer, his shadow cutting across her. "Now you've seen my face. That makes you dangerous." Her son's small footsteps echoed from the hallway. She froze. His eyes darted toward the sound. "You have a kid," he said softly. "That complicates things." Maya moved fast, grabbing the kitchen knife. "You don't touch him." He raised his hands. "I'm not your enemy anymore." "Then what are you?" she snapped. He hesitated. a man with no place left to run. Thunder cracked outside, rattling the windows. His phone buzzed on the table, a hidden call vibrating nonstop. She glanced at the screen. Unknown caller. He ignored it. Moments later, headlights flashed outside. 2 black SUVs stopped near the woods. Maya's stomach dropped. "They found you," she whispered. He looked at her, calm now, resigned. "And you? Because you saved me." Liam grabbed her hand, terrified. "Mom." "Get behind me," she said, eyes locked on the door. The first gunshot shattered the window. Marco ducked, grabbing the gun from under his jacket. "They're not here for me anymore," he said. "They think I talked. They'll kill anyone who saw me." Her heart pounded so hard she could barely think. "Then fight," she said, "but not near my son." He glanced at her. Something in his eyes changed. A decision. He moved toward the door, every step heavy, final. "Maya," he said, voice low, "tell your boy your brother didn't die for nothing." Before she could answer, he stepped outside into the storm. The gunfire swallowed him whole. When silence returned, she opened the door. The SUVs were gone. Only the echo of shots rang and the faint smell of gunpowder remained. Liam whispered, "Mom, who was he really?" She stared into the dark woods, tears mixing with the rain. Someone who finally paid. But deep down, she knew no one ever truly buries the past. It always crawls back, waiting to be found. Rain hammered the roof like gunfire. Maya crouched beside her son, her breath trembling, her heart beating in painful bursts. The storm outside wasn't just weather anymore. It felt like punishment. She'd saved a man buried alive, and now her house, her world, was under siege because of it. Through the cracked window, headlights flashed again. The killers hadn't left. They were circling back, slow and deliberate. Shadows moved between the trees, whispering, hunting. Marco's body wasn't there anymore. Just blood trails vanishing into the mud. Liam whispered, "Mom, are they coming for us?" She pressed a finger to his lips. "Stay quiet, baby." The power went out. Everything plunged into darkness. Only lightning revealed their faces, one terrified, one determined. Then a voice outside. "Mayo," deep, mocking. "You really thought you could hide him here, lady?" Maya froze. Her mind raced. The man they wanted was gone, maybe dead. But they didn't know that. She grabbed the flashlight, turned it off again. Only silence. Then another voice sneered. "Search the house. That black woman's hiding him." Something inside her broke. It wasn't just fear anymore. It was fury. That word. That tone. Like she wasn't even human. She'd heard it all her life. From bosses, from police, from strangers who locked their doors when she walked by. And now, men with guns were using it like a weapon. She moved fast, silent, grabbing the kitchen knife again. Her hands shook, but her eyes didn't. If she died tonight, it wouldn't be running. The door burst open with a crash. 2 men in wet black coats stormed in, guns raised. "Where is he?" Maya stood her ground. "He's gone." One smirked. "Then you're next." A thunderclap roared. Too close. The flash revealed something behind them. A figure rising from the shadows, outside, limping, bleeding. Marco, still alive. Dropped the guns. He rasped, voice cold, lethal. The men turned, startled. Marco fired first. One shot, clean, brutal. The other man lunged for Maya. She slashed his arm with the knife, pain ripping through the silence. He fell back, screaming. Marco shot again. The echo died slowly, fading into rain. Maya stood frozen. The smell of gunpowder filled the air. Marco lowered the weapon, breathing hard. For a moment, the world stopped. "You should have run," he said quietly. She stared at him, eyes burning. "You should have never come into my life." He gave a broken smile. Funny thing about saving people, you never know who's worth it. His knees buckled. Blood poured from his side. She rushed forward despite herself, catching him before he hit the floor. His hand grabbed hers, cold and trembling. "I did it," he whispered. "Your brother? I ordered it." But I never forgot his face. He stood tall, even when he knew he'd die. "I saw the same fire in you tonight." Her eyes filled with tears. "You don't get to say his name." He coughed, blood on his lips. "Then let me do one thing right." Before she could ask what he meant, he pulled a folded paper from his pocket and pressed it into her hand. "Evidence," he gasped. "Everything, names, money. Cops on the payroll. End it." His eyes flickered toward Liam, hiding behind the couch. "Don't let him grow up scared of men like me." And then he went still. The rain softened. Police sirens wailed in the distance, growing louder. Maya sat on the floor, covered in blood and tears, staring at the lifeless man who had destroyed her past, and, in his last breath, given her a chance to change the future. When the police arrived, she stood outside, clutching the blood-stained envelope. The officer looked at her, suspicion in his eyes. "Ma'am, what happened here?" She looked past him, at the flashing lights, at the men who once ignored her cries for help. "Justice happened," she said quietly. The camera of the world would fade on her face. Tired, soaked, but unbroken. A black mother who saved a monster and still found the strength to bury hate deeper than any grave. The morning came quiet, heavy, almost unreal. The forest smelled of wet earth and gun smoke. Maya stood at the edge of her porch, staring at the place where the SUVs had burned tire marks into mud. The police were gone now. The questions, the flashing lights, the pitying stares, all of it had faded into a strange kind of silence. Liam was asleep inside, curled up under her old blanket. For the first time in years, she could hear him breathing softly without nightmares. Maya's hands trembled as she held the envelope Marco had given her. Inside were names, bank records, and files so damning they could tear apart half the city's corruption. She could burn it, forget everything, pretend none of this happened. But she didn't. Instead, she walked down the muddy road toward the small community church, the same place that refused to let her brother's body be buried too close to the white family's graves. She walked through the gate, unbothered by the looks from the mourning caretakers. They couldn't hurt her anymore, not after what she'd seen. At the altar, she lit a single candle and whispered, "I did it, Jordan. He's gone, but he helped me finish what you started." A tear rolled down her cheek, not of grief, of release. She left the envelope on the steps, knowing it would find its way to someone who'd use it right. Maybe the world wouldn't change overnight, but something inside her already had. As she stepped outside, sunlight pierced through the clouds. The storm had passed, but its echo lingered in every drop glistening on the leaves. She took Liam's small hand and led him toward the road. "Where are we going, Mom?" he asked. She smiled faintly. "Someplace new. Somewhere no one looks at us like we don't belong." He looked up at her, trusting completely. "Will Dad be there?" Her heart tightened, but she nodded. "He's already watching us, baby. He made sure we got this far." They walked on, hand in hand, leaving the house, the gunshots, and the ghost behind. Somewhere, in a muddy grave, a Mafia boss rested in silence. Somewhere else, a black mother and her son began again, with truth as their only weapon. Sometimes, the greatest revenge isn't killing your enemy. It's outliving them, with your humanity still intact. Astra's story inspired by true acts of courage where hate was met not with fear, but with fire. If the story moved you, share it. Because silence is the only thing that lets racism survive.